Hi there people, just bear with me a wee minute. Hello everybody in the chat, anybody watching, how you doing? Just bear with me, I get my bearings here, a wee minute. So, I'm just going to waffle a wee bit today. I'm going to talk a wee bit about the journey for me and where things are going, some of the paths that people have taken. Some of the paranoia, some of the, just the whole aspect of what this entails, this whole fucking shenanigans. So I'm just going to marshal this link so that I know what's happening here. But if anybody has heard this before, or you already know the journey for me, then it's not going to be anything new, I don't think. But we'll take it right on to what's happening right now, and some of the concerns that I have. Why I'm kind of feeling flat and a bit lost with this now, to be honest with you. But just bear with me. I've just had my son away swimming there, so my eyes are absolutely stinging. Right. What we'll do is I'll say hello to whoever's here. Zoo Scott, how you doing? Adam Ireland, how are you? Billy Sunday, Bastard Dired Crow, Harry Growler, how you doing? John B, Jimmy Brown, Chaz Ween, Richard Lee Buck, Connor Plain. Okay, so how this started for me, why I get involved in it. To be honest with you, there was nothing particular. It wasn't like somebody had says to me, here, look at this, or whatever. It was actually a dream that I had. Now, that is something that's subjective. I'm not going to be able to prove that to anybody. So you're just going to need to, take what I'm saying as my journey, and that's the way it was. So I wasn't sure if, I've said this before, metaphysical aspects. Is there something hardwired at a certain time for these things to happen? I mean, who knows? Is the whole thing a plan that is set out to happen eventually? Is it something that needs to happen for the greater good? I mean, these are all ideas that, I'll discuss a wee bit more. But it started with a dream for me. And that very next day, I discovered this. So the reason that I get involved was because I could see clearly through the games, the psyop, if you like. And the psyop was the usual, how they infiltrate anything. Discredit, cause division, cause paranoia. And at the same time, you have the human aspect where people's ways just create division and the stresses that come with it. So, I'm not even going to get into the proofs and how I ended up there. Everybody knows how I ended up here, and that water was the light bulb moment for me, and there was just no escaping it. But ever since then, there has been a push to try and suppress anything that I'm saying or anybody who says the same type of thing. And that message was, don't believe any models. It's not about personalities, and if we have to learn anything, learn that we know absolutely nothing. We need to ditch belief systems. We need to ditch, logical fallacies like appealing to authority, appealing to history, appealing to books. All this type of mentality had to go for me. So I was determined that I was going to stand up there and represent a different message to what anybody else was pushing. The majority of the already established personalities, if you like, seemed to me to be playing games together. A lot of divisive games, separating people up into different camps and arguing about maps and models and stuff. So I knew right away that there was a heavy presence of intelligence involved with this. And I knew that in order to get anywhere, I would have to create my own platform without pointing the finger and causing a war between any of these characters. The best thing for me to do was to try and equip people with the tools that they require in order to recognise it for themselves. And I'm going to try a wee bit of that again today. And I'm also going to talk about some of the situations I've been in, some of the paranoia, and feeling like, there's attempts to infiltrate here as well. By gaslight means, and that means sending people to try and get close to you, to try and make out that you're your friend, to cause you division, to cause you stress, to take your focus and attention away from the game that you were actually on in the first place. So this is some quotes from Sun Tzu's 31 best pieces of leadership advice. A leader leads by example, not by force. You have to believe in yourself, appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. If your enemy is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. If your opponent is temperamental, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. Well, that's one of the tactics I have used. I can be temperamental. I have a real low tolerance for stupidity and liars, and people who are just, troublemakers. So through times I have played to that, to give the impression that I'm irritated, to give the impression that people are getting to me. Because if I do that, then I know I'm going to draw them. So pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. If he is taking his ease, give him no rest. If his forces are united, separate them. If sovereign and subject are in accord, put division between them. Attack him where he is unprepared, appear where you are not expected. So that wee paragraph there says a lot about some of the stuff that goes on within this whole thing. Hang on, just bear with me, listening to you. I'm going to do the Billy Connolly thing, and I'm probably going to jump from one point to the other and eventually come back to the point I was trying to make. So you're just going to need to bear with it. So, going back to the start, I knew that this was important. If anybody realises, they realise how fucking important that is. From that, you realise that there's going to be, a heavy presence of intelligence involved in it. And if you know that they're going to be involved in it, you know the tactics they're going to use, and you have to try and avoid them. There's so many things they will try and drag you into. The main one, the most obvious stuff, the in-your-face stuff, is the opposition and how they throw the straw mans at you, get you to represent a straw man, generalise, use logical fallacies. The other part is when they know that a certain platform or movement is becoming popular, it's having a bit of influence. Therefore, they have to send in people who appear to be friends. Right? So there's two aspects to this. There's the in-your-face opposition, and then there's a sleight of hand people who are going to appear as allies and as friends. They will try and portray themselves to be genuine. They will try and portray themselves to be on your side and be there to progress and help the truth. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. And that's it. And you can see that. I've said that so many times to people. This whole thing, what's been going on for a long time, is a war for your attention. It is a war of the mind. And if you have that mind, and if you win the war of the mind, you can then start to implement what I would term lesser magic. And I'll get to these terms in a wee minute. And once you can achieve that, you can have people warring with each other, killing each other, and behaving in all sorts of crazy ways. So, lesser magic. I'm going to take lesser magic as something that I understand just as a terminology from a book called The Satanic Bible by a guy called Anton LaVey. And remember, this is not me advocating anybody. Read things for yourself. I'm just going to use these terminologies in order for people to understand what they mean. So, greater and lesser magic, also known as high and low magic. You can check these things out for yourself. Just type greater and lesser magic. There's a system of magic within LaVeyan Satanism. Now, it's attributed to LaVeyan Satanism, but it has been used well before that. This is just somebody who had recognised it and gave it a term or a title. Greater magic is a form of ritual practice and is meant as psychodramatic catharsis to focus one's emotional energy for a specific purpose. So, you perform rituals, if you have belief in trinkets, if you can use a model or a symbol that gives you focus, that you identify with, having a certain meaning, you can use that in a ritualistic practice in order to focus your attention and focus your will. It's about gearing yourself up to be in the right frame of mind in order to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. It's like motivation and how to self-motivate. That's really what it's about, okay? Lesser magic is the practice of manipulation by means of applied psychology and glamour or wile and guile to bend an individual or situation to one's will. Now, that's what I'm talking about. So if you are aware of some person's situation, emotional level, and you know them, what they're looking for, what they fear, what their woes are, you can then use that against them. Now, it's not like you're imposing on their free will, but it's a sneaky, underhanded tactic. We all use it. We've used it and we learned it from a very young age, from baby. As soon as a baby learns, okay, if I make this irritating sound, I'm going to get the attention I'm looking for. And then that pattern can continue. And it does continue. We have used it, and many people probably still do use it, although a lot of people are not really conscious that they're employing it. I recognise it myself. myself. It helped me to move on, to learn about myself and learn about people in the world and how they operate. But you have to have the ability to be strong and honest and admit to yourself. That's the hardest thing. The hardest thing sometimes is to look inward and to look at you. You can recognise it in the rest of the world, but it's useless if you're not recognising it in yourself. But if you're recognising it in the world, then you probably have recognised it in yourself. Now that's how a lot of manipulators get it. They realise and they understand themselves and how they work, and then they realise the majority of people are in denial about what they actually are. So again, you've got the upper hand right away when people are in denial and don't want to face, human nature, if you want to call it that. The reason I want to share some of this stuff is because of what's happening now. As I say, it was already infiltrated from the beginning. Now, they could never have foreseen somebody like myself and other people like me who would stand up and not accept any of the shit. And through time, they've had to rework characters. They've burned certain characters out, and now they have brought other circles of characters on board. Some of the behaviour that we're seeing is a bit concerning for me, because we have a few scenarios that I think they could aim towards with this. We've spoke about before that they're unveiling it. They want to take it to a new paradigm. There's going to be a new lie. The other side is that they're looking for some way to shut it down, totally. If you look at recent terror attacks, so-called terror attacks, whatever you want to call them, and the push towards, controlling media and people's right to free speech and saying what they want, then organised groups and gangs could be looked at and frowned upon, right? I've always tried to encourage people that this is not a political movement. This is not about hanging people in the street or looking for anybody to blame. We have to look at ourselves and take control from this moment on. The moment we start banding together as an organisation and trying to point the finger at certain, people in society or organisations in society, you're going to get resistance to that, and you're going to have a bit of a war in your hands. So I was smart enough to know that it had to be indirect, okay? As long as you're not pointing the finger and trying to hang anybody for it, then it should be a lot easier. So the group and the herd mentality is no different than what we have experienced here on the social media. By the early on stages, I've spoke about the Badger groups, who are organised groups of trolls who are probably on a payroll. They infiltrate and harass, any type of opposition. The main ones being the flat earth, vaccines, chemtrails. That is where I've seen the most heavy presence of these characters. Now, you can see the tactics. I watched the tactics they used, and it was horrible. It's no way to go about things. All it does is show you as some sort of desperate group, and really people will be, go the opposite from that. Now, that could work the exact same with the flat earth. If you have organised gangs who are going around harassing people, then it's going to have the opposite effect as far as I'm concerned. For me, this is a very touchy subject. We have to be sensitive and compassionate towards people and approach them with respect and manners at all times. When I get involved in activism, it's to give people a choice. People don't have to interact with me. They don't have to listen to what I'm saying. Okay? If it's a poster or something impersonal, they have the choice to look at it or not look at it. But when you're constantly harassing people and bombarding them, then that's something different. So again, getting back to it, if you're smart enough and you've been on the journey long enough, you can see through egos and personalities. These games become very, very apparent. Now again, knowing that this is about an objective truth, personalities may be useful because the personalities and different personalities can appeal to different people, right? But that's as far as it should go. It should be a conscious decision, like, okay, I'm going to get into my personality here in order to affect people. I'm going to get into this role in order to affect people. But when you think you are the role and you start portraying yourself and you actually believe your own hype, you have left it. You're not in control. You're not somebody that I trust. So we've seen these characters larger than life, a character for everybody. And they were already here and established right at the very beginning of this. So that led me on a path of thinking, well, they're going to bring this revelation about, but they want to control it. They're going to implement a new paradigm, a new lie. They're going to do that by destabilising governments. They're going to destabilise people's opinions and view of governments. They're going to build the whole thing into a crescendo so that people are at that point of, look, we just can't accept this anymore. We need total change, something new. And at that point, you're going to be ready to accept anything. Right. I'm very weary about these tactics and possibilities of what they might push. Right now, as I'm looking at it, there's been a heavy push, especially, in the last few months, there's been a desperate attempt by trolls to build associations with this platform and some other subjects. If you've been here, you'll have seen that happening. So that kind of set alarm bells for me as into, what are the plans? What are they going to try next? Are they going to try and label the extremism, the terrorism onto, discussions like this? And again, that is why it was hugely important for me to stress to people, you have to separate subjects. Let the subjects stand on their own. If you claim you're representing objective truth in the shape of the earth, but yet you run about, pulling in all these other subjects and sticking them onto it, like you're some sort of fucking guru that is all known and has all the answers to these things, then I'm fucking deeply suspicious of you, right? They should be smart enough to know how serious this subject is and what is required in order to bring it to the public arena and to bring it there without any, added stress. Right, I need to make a smoke, so you're going to have to bear with the silence for a wee minute. And again, I'm not into fucking editing, these things. They are what they are. I've always just bared all. I'm not here as a fucking personality. I'm not trying to fucking impress anybody. I don't want to be fucking popular. The only reason I would want to be popular is because I'm somebody who represents the truth. That is it. The rest of the attachments, stardom and idolising and, fuck all that. Van Helsing switched to vaping. Vaping, what the liquids that you get? What are the trials for those liquids? How long have the trials been running? What is the long-term effects on people? That's what I would like to know. This is the thing, people are so quick to jump. That's bad, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad, but here's an alternative. And because you're offered an alternative, people somehow think the alternative is good. This is, even in that scale, talking about, tobacco and these fucking chemicals, that's exactly the mentality that people are stuck in. Oh, that's bad and that's evil and that's nasty stuff. But here's an alternative. And because it is an alternative, it must be less bad than the other one. Again, I would be very cautious, and I have been cautious. I say it to everybody. How long have the trials been run for these chemicals that everybody's vaping? And what are the long-term effects? Or are we just going to deal with that when it happens? At the end of the day, I don't value this place. I value the beings that are here. I want to make sure that I've done the best for them. I don't want to fucking live forever in this fucking shithole. This is not a place for me, right? I don't agree with it. Unless it can be proved to me that this was, some type of utopia that was infiltrated. Even at that, I'm still going to have too many deep fucking questions that will just show contradictions to this whole life special, love the world and love nature and Mother Earth. No, this fucking crap. No, I'm not a nihilist. Before anybody starts getting into their mind, I'm not a fucking nihilist either. So, again, I'll maybe open up for discussion with people on these topics. I vaped with cyanide, never felt better. I'm sure there's a few people out there who wish I would vape with cyanide. Unfortunately for those fuckers, I ain't intending on going anywhere. I might be a bit warm right now and a bit lost as to where the direction is, but I'm going to bounce right back from that. Yeah? So these fuckers can keep wishing. Markovsky, that's how we deal with everything. Wait till Humpty falls off the wall, then pick up the pieces. Yeah. It's like saying if you go left, you have 50% chance of dying, smoking, but if you go right, you might have less chance, vaping. How come I can run up a hill today and I couldn't when I smoked? Well, that's the difference. If you want to be fit and you want your lungs to be working properly, then you wouldn't smoke. You can have a fine balance. You can still be fit and have your lungs working and have a smoke. There's people who overdo everything. It's the same as everything. If you're overdoing it and you don't have a balance, then you're going to have, problems. But again, we're moving into realms here of fucking how we should and shouldn't live our lives, what we should and shouldn't do, all these subjective things that people throw at each other. And that is, that's part of my problem as well. The more I see people in their ways, the less heart and hope that I have for me ever getting to find out anything true about where I am and who I am. Because people are just so fucking insecure and so manipulative and so controlling. It's like there's a schizophrenic running through humanity. People on one hand show care and attention and love and respect, and on the other hand they're mad fucking schizo control freaks. It's pretty bizarre. Maybe I'll get into that right now, the difference between what is subjective and what is objective, and how the problems that we have with each other stem from subjective topics, right? I don't really know. As I say, my focus recently has been so hard to keep. Right now, I just don't feel as if my mind is mine. It's such a struggle to keep focused on things. Ian, hi, many greetings from Germany. How you doing? YouTube, the problem is people that deny they are addicted to it when they obviously are. I didn't ever deny it in the first place, but that's me. Well, again, it's about self-honesty. That's what I was talking about earlier on. People don't have the ability to look inside and be totally honest with themselves. As again, it's that schizophrenic that's running through their mind, people don't want to ever be wrong. They don't ever want to show what's perceived as weakness. It's terrible. Isa Mahalski, Red Machine Kieran, the destruction of Britain is by the government, mate, not terrorists. Well, we talk about terrorists, the destruction of Britain, the destruction of this, that and the other. It's the government, it's terrorists, it's him, it's her, it's that, it's that. How about that? How about it's your own fucking fault? It's people not taking responsibility? It's their fucking fault. How about that? And how far do we have to go by blaming external sources? This is what I'm saying. You look at this whole thing and my experience through it, trying to encourage people to be individuals but work towards a common goal. And it just doesn't happen. People have totally lost touch with what a relationship is with somebody, how you actually reach out to somebody and build bridges. How you maintain respect, it's just not fucking existing anymore. What I've experienced, especially when people try to come close to me, is empty promises, big words, and fuck all what. Right? I've said this to you before. If somebody is coming at you and promising you the world, and it's words, and they're telling you they want to be your friend, and they want to help this, and they want to help that, be fucking wary of them. Right? I have met many gobshites like that in my life. See the ones that don't say anything, that just show it, that just walk the walk, that's the ones I look for now. Right? No, these fuckers with the big mouths who promise the world. Again, I had people coming here to me saying they wanted to support this message, they wanted us to unite and to build something strong to take to people, and it just doesn't materialise. It just never materialised. I see nothing but self-gratification and fucking self-grandeur, people looking to satisfy their own wee egotistical fucking bollocks. There's nothing of that's happened here. Again, I'm going to reiterate it to people, there is no team here, there is no organisation, there is no people all working, uniting together here. It was promised, people came and claimed that's what they were here for, never materialised. Right? It's just me. I don't have open comms with people and, some of the things that people might have going on in their mind. It's just not like that. Again, I was very well aware that the majority of people who are going to get involved in this, especially on YouTube, are going to be sociopathic type minds, because introverts and people who keep themselves to themselves are not going to do this. I had to battle with myself because I'm a loner. I'm an introvert. I had to battle with myself to get myself on camera to try and push another message, right? And through time, I have got used to it. I became at ease with it. So it can look to people like, oh, I'm on camera and, I'm some sort of personality, when it's the total opposite. I would rather this was out tomorrow and then I could switch this fucking thing off and get back into obscurity again, get back to playing my guitar and living in my own bubble, right? And people will see it. I'm physically drained now, mentally drained, I'm tired. It's coming to the point where I do need a break for this. But my fear has been that if you walk away, these infiltrators are going to get their way. But even when we've been here, people are still apathetic towards these infiltrators. These people who don't have real truth at the forefront of their agenda. They're working to some other agenda that might be difficult to see right now, but I can guarantee you that it will unfold eventually. So that's probably my own doing. I take the weight of the world on my shoulders. I don't trust anybody, and I've made that clear before. And it's a hard thing when you're in that position. I don't trust anybody, but my experiences of people through life, I have every fucking right not to trust anybody. It takes a lot and a long time for me to actually extend real trust to people. So I'm going to have a wee break from this subject right now. How he's doing in chat? Mag saying you need more than a break, Dell. Yeah. Does it just, as again, it's, I get like this because I'm impatient. You put a lot of focus and a lot of energy into something and you keep hoping that there's going to be breakthroughs, and then you see nothing but the same tactics being used and people falling for them. And it can drain you, get you frustrated. My impatience is what leads me to this, to be this drained way. I mean, the other night I was just so sick of listening to people, I had to switch off. It was really, really irritating. And that's no fair on, people out there who are genuine, that I'm at that point where I'm just irritated by listening to the same old fucking waffle. Again, again, to move forward, I'm just going to have to be who I am. And if people don't like it, fine. As I said before, I'm not here for popularity. I'm here to represent the truth as best I can. And that is, true with the objective truth. And it's going to be true in regards to who I am and who I am for each moment in time. I'm just going to express it clearly and have zero tolerance for any of the fucking about. So in the beginning, we had these prominent characters. Now, if you were there, you would see the dramas that unfolded between the personalities, the bitching and the bickering. I tried to express to these people that why are they getting involved in egotistical battles with each other when this is about an objective truth. They never listened, obviously, because, they have an agenda to push. So again, we come back to what is the agenda? These itchy bums and the people who are appearing from nowhere. And again, infiltration. The first sign of infiltration is characters appearing from nowhere with no real trace to any proper history, promoted and pushed up there by certain other prominent figures. That tells you that they're in there for a purpose, right? And that purpose is not to represent the truth. The very fact that they give themselves certain names that would suggest they're in a certain camp tells you everything you need to know. And it's not just itchy bum, right? It's the other ones who are still here. I'm not going to start naming the names, right? If my patience breaks, then I will name the names. The more support I see going towards these types of characters, then I'm going to start calling it out. Fuck it. What's wrong, boy? People say to me, the street interviews and the activism's good. The hangouts is just people hanging about and it's not really productive. And me. Well, I tell you what, the hangouts and vlogs have been highly productive for me because I have been calling and pushing things in certain directions since fucking day one, right? They don't want the hangouts and people try and ridicule the hangouts like me doing this right now because they don't want me up here voicing and people hearing it, right? We are in a situation of knowing fuck all. We need to get people in a situation of serious critical thought. Right. This whole thing has to be fucking put up in the air with a zero tolerance for any bullshit. What's wrong, boy? Sorry, people, hang on. What's wrong? He knows I'm on here. He's just trying to wind me up. How's your last, Tracy? How you doing? Spurs Chemo, name Namesdale. How do we know who is who if we have no clues? Which camp? I mean, I have a clue, but it's just my thoughts. Well, what's the truth? What is the actual truth? Right? Figure that out. I've said it so many times. And then ask yourself why there's so many types of personality who are pushing illogical nonsense, stringing it out, causing division. I'm not here with a personality. I'm not here trying to portray anything other than reality. Thank you. You hear all these people. I was first. I'm the most important flat earther. No, I'm the most important flat earther. Blah, blah, blah. Look for that type of thing. Look for methods and tactics and things that are being implemented that in no way represent the subject, right? The only thing I can say, right, because my focus is the way it is right now, there's a backlog of mine. I know some of the things are quite long, maybe an hour long, 50 minutes long, but I suggest that you go and listen to that because I said everything that was there right at the beginning. First few videos, it's all there. So Spurs Chemo, that was one of the methods, and I have made the mistake and had mentioned names only when it's blatantly obvious, right? The itchy bum, I called it, but really what was I saying? I was asking questions. The reaction should have told you everything, okay? If I was coming into something and I seen somebody there who'd been there for a while, I knew they were passionate about the truth, I knew they defended the truth, I knew they represented logic and reasoning, and I seen them, and I had just arrived on the scene and becoming popular and everybody was promoting me. If I'm just a genuine person, if I see somebody like that and I see them asking me questions, I would respect it and I would go to them and I would say, I totally respect you for the way you behave because that's how I would. And here, I'll answer your questions, no problem. Let's have transparency. Let's have open communication with each other. Let's not have cliques where people talk about this group, people talk about that group, and everybody's running about stabbing each other in the back. I would just rather meet things head on. That's what I done with the live thing in the first place. That was the first format that I set out. Any claims you have about any people, bring it. Show the proof. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. And as soon as I done that, all the bitching, all the name calling, all the accusations stopped immediately because people realise they don't have any actual proof, or they just don't know how to articulate the proof or the methods or how to recognise them. People willing to be muppeted for ego's sake are potentially dangerous. They're more than potentially dangerous, they are, especially with something that's that important, like this. And this is what they do, they string it out for so long that people get disheartened and lose interest, and they go away back into the fucking matrix. Right? You have to be strong. Recognise where the truth is. Recognise those that are standing for the truth and stand next to them. Right? That doesn't mean to say you're a community or an organisation. No, you're individuals who recognise the situation, the truth, and you recognise it in each other. Right? Use that as your support network. No clingy, needy, manipulative, drama type people. Scott Stevenson, name and shame them. Well, I'm trying, Scott. How many people do you think are out there in this subject that are representing it truthfully? And as I say, they don't have to be intel. They don't have to be part of the establishment. They could just be people, sociopathic type mindsets who portray themselves to have integrity and that to be there for honesty and truth, when really they're not. They just like attention. Right? Arwen controlled opposition accounts to siphon off the newcomers. Yep. Well, look what happened. The Hangouts started getting popular. The street interviews were getting popular. All of a sudden, there was attention run about me. There was people coming round about me portraying themselves to be friendly, and at the same time you had new characters appearing in the scene trying to hijack activism and the methods and the things that you have implemented, and then try and claim that it is theirs, that they're at the forefront of it, and if it wasn't for them, none of this would be happening and all this kind of stuff. Right? You'll not hear that from me. Right. I know who I am. I'm secure in that. I know what I've offered and put out there and what the chronological events were. Right. I don't need to demand that people know that I was, doing the activism and he doesn't deserve credit for what I done and me. I don't give a fuck about all that. The only thing that was important to me is that people took what was being said as long as it was the truth and they can run with that, represent the truth. That's all I cared about. Right? At the same time, if somebody, deserves merit or, brought something to the table, they deserve the accolade for that. Not in an egotistical sense. I've tried to explain this before. I explained this, I spoke to Marshall about this, I recognise that me as a child, and I see it in my young Xander there. It's not that the ego wants stroked. When you try and give him praise, he gets uncomfortable and doesn't know where to look because they're not, people are not looking for that type of praise. What is good to them and what fuels them is just that you're aware and smart enough and that you're actually, paying attention to somebody else to recognise their endeavours. And it's that recognition of effort that's important to people. That's what it is for me anyway. If people, recognise my effort and recognise my intent, that's where I take pride and joy. Right? Scratching my ego, I just, turn away from that. I ain't fucking interested because that is leading you into a bad mindset. And the more that type of behaviour is encouraged, the more I'm going to fucking walk away, and become suspicious. So I hope that, you really understand that. People do deserve, merit for their endeavours and what they've brought to the table. Recognition, that is it. Purely recognition. And that's what I aim to offer here, was recognition to people. No ego scratching. No, you're up on a pedestal because you were the first, or you were the first, or you've got thousands of subscribers, you've only got a couple of hundred. None of that matters to me. I don't look at any of that. None whatsoever. And I hope this isn't in riddles. I hope that I'm saying it clear enough for you to get what I'm saying. If you disagree, or if you've got something to add to it, let me know. Marshall, how are you doing, mate?
I've got that links out, but we've got no response from that, and people are accumulating in the Gmail, in the GMX. So I don't know whether you want to wait on or whether you want to invite somebody else in.
Yeah, I'm going to still speak for another while, whatever, just to receive it something here.
All right, so as long as people know that I've got your mails, and we'll be feeding out some links when there's some time later.
Yeah, as I say, when I do these, random vlogs, Saturday nights, the people beyond the imaginary curve, that's the opportunity for people to let us know they're there and people to have their say and discuss whatever you like, I still have my identity, and I want an outlet for that, and I'm just going to use this by firing up live rather than pre-recording it in a vlog. And again, I've always said, it doesn't matter if they're psychopaths, sociopaths, whatever. The thing for me is that I don't want to suppress any of them either. It's just about understanding. Recognise it in yourself and then you will see it in other people. They have a right to exist as much as I do right now. That is all I know. So I don't have to point the finger at them. Everybody can set out their stall and people can buy whatever they like. Nobody forces you into fucking pound stretchers to buy tatty pieces of plastic for a fucking quid. No, you don't blame pound stretchers for the tatty piece of plastic break, right? Pound stretchers sets out their stall. You go and buy from it. You get what you get. You know, you should know and be aware of where you're buying from and what the quality of the product actually is, right? Eric, how you doing, mate? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
What's that? Can you hear me? Yeah, yes or no?
Yes, I can hear you. You hear me all right?
Cool, man. Yeah, sometimes my internet connection isn't very good, so these live hangouts don't work out well. Just wanted to come in and say hey.
Aye, no bother, man. How's things?
Good. Been working on that children's book we talked about last time I was with you. I was only kind of hum-hawing it, and I got such an overwhelming response from people wanting me to do it, and like 5 different artists contacted me saying they wanted to be involved in it. So I got the wheels going with some of you might know Can Ev Art. He's been doing a lot of great flat Earth cartoons. So I'm working with him, and we're doing the Flat Earth children's book.
Excellent, man. Nice one.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to hop on and say a word of support for you. And I know how you're feeling. I feel the same way. You know, you want to see progress faster than it happens, and all the infighting that's designed to keep us from actually focusing on what's important. And then I tell everybody about your channel. I just think you're doing a great job sticking to the real science, sticking to the one issue. I've talked about so many subjects before Flat Earth. My content has already been, there's a bunch of stuff going on with it, but I really respect what you're doing by just going straight Flat Earth and going straight to the proofs and just sticking with that. You're not going to the personalities like IPS and these chat raids. I also don't approve of these things where they're going in there and getting big groups of people to just spam other people's live chats. And I've seen the ones that have been posted, and none of them seem effective. They're all, the people in the chats aren't like, oh wow, I'm going to go research Flat Earth now. If anything, their idea that Flat Earth is a bunch of nonsense and cult followers has been reinforced. So I don't see them as a positive thing at all.
No.
But the activism that you and John Smith and Gav and all the guys beyond the imaginary curve have been doing is excellent. And I wish everyone would take your example and like that.
Yeah. Well, that's it, mate. You hit the nail on the head there. That's exactly how it's going to be looked at. That type of mob rule and mob mentality, just bombarding people disrespectfully. I certainly don't agree with it. Everything that I set out to achieve was to show people how you can approach people indirectly with manners and respect, and you can get a much better reaction from people that way. And they're more inclined to then go away and take some of what you've spoke to them about and maybe research it further. Whereas if you say they're hearing already, oh, Flat Earth is just crazy fucking conspiracy theorists and blah 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 blah, and then you see them behaving like that, like a cult mentality, they're just going to be pissed off with it. I would exactly. If I'm sitting there playing my guitar in some forum or people are playing game, they're there for that specific reason. They're not there. If they want to find out about conspiracies, they'll go and find out for themselves.
Absolutely. Look at the faces and the reactions to people after they've been chat spammed by some of these chat raids, and compare that to the reactions after a John Smith or a Dell interview, where everybody, their eyes are, you can see it in their eyes, like they've been awakened at least a little bit. Even some of the more closed-minded people at the end of it, they have had their minds opened a bit. Whereas at the end of these chat raids, I'm seeing the exact opposite. I'm seeing, oh yeah, Flat Earth, this is just like I thought it was. Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, and that's it.
So they're just
they have a preconceived idea or notion about what Flat Earth and the types of people, and all they're doing is reaffirming that to people. And again, it will just be, people will take confirmation bias. If they just want, they're quite happy to say that Flat Earthers are just a bunch of crazies, then that type of behaviour is all they need is a trigger in order to flick the confirmation bias, and that's it. And it causes, again, it adds to that, as you were saying, that frustration of progress being halted.
Yeah. But you're not going to stop, are you, Dale?
No.
You're going to keep on going, I can tell.
Yeah, gather my energy back, bit of focus and push onwards, mate, But as I say, I expressed that. Sorry.
Oh, likewise, man. No, everybody it's an emotional roller coaster. You got your ups and downs, and everyone deserves a break, especially people like yourself that have been pushing this so hard. So I understand that. Everybody needs to take the time off that they need, but at the same time, recognize that this is the long battle. I see this as a lifelong thing. I've never seen this as something that was going to happen in a year or two or whatever. Once I discovered all these conspiracies, and especially the Flat Earth, I figured, well, okay, this is my life. life. This is the mission. This is what I'll be doing until the day I die. And I don't think it's going to be over then. I think this, our mission is that we're going to have to inspire the youth and inspire other people to continue this on, because I think it's a really long journey.
Yeah.
As much as I don't want to say it, I don't really, I don't want to be part of such an arduous process, but it's hoisted upon those of us genuine people that see the truth and want to help.
Yeah, it's hard for me. That's exactly it. I think I deluded myself maybe into thinking that it was going to be quicker. But that again, I've expressed, that's just my impatience. Thinking that in a couple of years, it's been 2 years now. I expected fucking it to be on the mainstream TV by now. But I think you're right. It's a long haul, and that's part of my realization recently. I just have to, take a breath, get my energy back and refocus and stop myself from wandering into that impatient position. Yeah.
Samuel Rowbotham and the Universal Zetetic Society back in the 1800s. I mean, look at the huge splash they made and everything they did to get this out, and they spent their entire lives doing it, and all of that was turned on its head 180 degrees, and they brought everybody right back into the fold. And I'm scared that they do the same thing with some sort of alien Project Bluebeam deception or whatever it is, like you've been talking about. That there's the obvious things, like you said, they're having people hold on to maps and models and other things so they can easily discredit you, so that that the message doesn't get out further. But then beyond that, if it does, I think they've already got other things already planned so that they can kind of like the Men in Black memory wipe device. They create an event that's big enough, the blip that Flat Earth has made on the world radar to waking people up, they can and within a generation that we think we've made could be totally put back to zero like it was back in the Rowbotham times. So we got to be careful of that kind of thing and see it at the long view.
My only hope for that, and what's different nowadays is obviously things like this. We have greater access to communicate with each other. But again, that's my concern. If they take control and start shutting down whatever they want shut down, then that's going to become a problem. And I think then it comes to the individual's responsibility to pass it on to future generations, not to let it go quiet. Who knows, man? You've got the same concerns that I have, obviously. And you can see the possibilities of what they're going to try.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's why it's important to get into the schools, the Flat Earth children's book. I think it's really important. I don't think there's ever been one written in history. And I think it's important that we try to open up the younger minds, more so than the older ones, because they're the ones that are going to be around longer. They're the ones that are more open to it. Matrix, they say you can't open a mind past a certain age. And some of the 70 and 80-year-old minds that you may be able to open, are they active in social media? Do they have active social circles that they can actually get the word out to? Meanwhile, I see there's kids messaging me, 12 years old, 15 years old, and they're talking about writing essays in school, and they've flat earthers. One teacher, and he told all the kids about flat Earth, and they quit and said they couldn't do it anymore. Meaning indoctrinate them with the global lie and other things that he'd found out about. I kind of felt the same way when I should put in English books, teaching English. They'd put also there'd be a whole chapter in having to teach people the curriculum. And so after teaching that, I kind of say, well, what I think about the moon landings. It didn't happen.
Gary, you broke up really bad there for the last kind of 30 seconds or so, mate. You there?
Interested in that, but teach what's in the text.
Eric, I don't know if you can hear me, but you're breaking up really badly, man. We lost you about a minute ago.
Sorry about that, yeah. Can you hear me now?
It's really broken, really robotic. I think you're totally gone now.
Yeah.
You there, man? Can you hear me?
If you can hear me.
Nah,
jump off here. I just wanted to come on and listen me.
The signal's really gone bad, Eric. I appreciate you coming on, man. There's loads of things I would love to talk about. I don't know how good your connection's going to hold it. I don't even know if you can hear this right now. You there? Gone. If you can hear this, I don't know if you want to try maybe just coming out of the hangout and coming back in again, see if that rectifies the problem. Marshall, you hearing me? Am I still here?
Yeah, you're all cool, dude. It's Eric's connection's cracked out. Yeah, Eric, if you can't hear this, dude, drop out and come back. Maybe we'll reset on a different route through the network.
That'd be good just to have a wee chat about some of the methods and the tactics that have been used, how things are affecting the likes of yourself, some of the emotional games, the psychological games, and then how the other subjects that, you may talk about are being used against you, or, I've seen them try to build association with certain subjects, with me in particular. So that for me lends, are they going to, try and slander you, mainstream wise? I don't know. I mean, I have so many concerns about what they're going to try. And again, that's why it's always been important to me to separate the subjects. Obviously, there's other people who have been involved in other subjects through their journey. That was true for me as well. And if I had a YouTube channel, my YouTube channel would probably be full of these different subjects, whether it be, the Illuminati, the Bilderbergs, the Freeman movement, whatever it is, that would probably be there for me as well. But I knew from the beginning that a lot of that stuff would be used, and they would try and use it against you in order to weaken it. So I just opted not to go for any other subjects. Although these other subjects, I have many questions the same as everybody else, So we'll see. Hopefully Eric can sort his signal back out. If not, thanks for coming on anyway, Eric. But I'll stay open here, see if you can come back in. So while I'm waiting, I'm just going to go to the chat here. John Smith, enjoy watching you sharpen your tools. I'm missing some of the conversation here. I'll go up a wee bit. Seen somebody mentioning sharpening your tools. Sharpening your tools was great for so long, but don't get stuck in it. I used the Badger groups on Facebook. Obviously, they seemed to think that was their best. These clowns that they had deployed into these Badger groups. So I knew that if I just harassed them long enough and stayed in there, played a bit of banter and game with them, they would show me their angles of attack and the things and the rebuttals they were going to throw out there. And that was great. It sharpens your tools in order to get used to some of the things that people will throw at you so that you have a response ready. But don't get stuck in it. They're not going to change. These groups are not there to, be open and honest and have discussion. They're there purely to push an agenda regardless of what you say to them, what mannerisms you use. None of that matters to them. So use them purely for your benefit and then ditch them. And just come back to that is a realisation for me that things were just not going to materialise as quickly as I foreseen them or wanted them to. I still hold hope that it's not going to be a lifetime, but at the same time, I have to expect that may well be the case. But in order to keep myself going forward and keep fueling myself, I have to, keep telling myself, no, I'm going to get somewhere in my lifetime. Things are going to transpire in the next few years. That keeps me motivated and keeps me going, because my type of personality is that I'm impatient. Things don't happen quick enough, then I start to get pissed off. In regards to Eric with the book, I think it's a fantastic idea. I said that at the beginning. We have to employ the same methods, the same tactics, but the difference is we are not going to be using that to put people in ignorance. It's to enlighten and empower people. So every aspect is good. Comedy, art, music, children's books, we have to try and affect in every way we possibly can. And if we can saturate the media in the world in a respectful way with art, books, music, then that will slowly but surely have an effect on people. People will come round to it, right? But it has to be on those methods, the indirect approach. You start acting like hordes and groups with a group mentality, you're going to be classed as a cult, you're going to piss people off, and it's just going to bring problems to the whole thing. If you're determined that, and you realise the importance of this truth, you realise that it is a truth, then you should stop being apathetic towards these characters. I don't care if you've not got anything else to do. Don't just switch them on and listen to them for the sake of it. Right? You're not doing the truth a service at all. You're adding to these opposers and letting them get their way. I don't say this about these people and then go and sit and watch their hangouts. I'm not fucking interested. They don't have anything to offer me. That's why I get up off my arse and went into the street, to set that example, right? Daniel Reza at Zone Music, they think they are going to infiltrate Flat Earth. Lol, it's already infiltrated. It was here already. As I say to people, do you think they're going to announce when they begin? Do you think that the infiltrators are going to look like fucking 007, showing up with a tuxedo and a fucking Aston Martin, swinging in from a fucking zip line? I mean, they're going to look like me and you. They're going to portray themselves as genuine people. Scraggly, smart. They're going to come in every fucking shape and form platform, right? You have to have your wits about you and you have to be smarter in order to recognise it. They're not going to announce it or tell you when they begin or tell you when they're finished, okay? It's going to be ongoing. They're going to adapt to the dynamics that are happening, right? As things change or if something new unfolds, they're going to adapt to that, mimic it, jump on it. And this again, I appreciate Eric coming on as well. When people are throwing the accusations about, for me, it would be highly beneficial for us just to talk it out and open, to address any of these attacks head on. So there's no mystery, there's no second guessing. We just tell people with transparency exactly how it is. And that we're not scared of any question that comes at us. Bull-tardedness has it as a temporary mental illness. A good dose of horizontal truth and a dash of sea level should sort it out. See, I like that. I can say these things, bull-tardedness and jest and have fun. But there's factions out there that, throw flattered and ridicule and derogatory terms at people, with real malice. It's not for banter purposes. So, I kind of try and stay away from that type of thing. But in jest and in banter, of course, But unfortunately, the vast majority of people are not Scottish. They don't understand, not just Scottish wit and humour. I'm sure it's everywhere else or in different parts of the world, but predominantly here in Scotland there is an upfront jesting, bantery type attitude where we can throw names at each other and we take it in a laugh and a jest, whereas in some countries they just think you're insulting each other. So it's a fine line, and if it's a fine line and it can cause problems, I would just rather try and use some of the terminologies. They're just people who are brainwashed and part of a religious cult. That's much better than calling them baltards. But if you know that they're just a blatant, troll who's not interested in, open discussion or critical thinking or being open-minded in any way, then by all means, I've done it myself. The Badger groups I had some heavy banter with and gave just as good as they tried to give me, although they needed teams to try and get some sort of emotional reaction from you. And again, another suggestion and something that I took up was screenshot every bit of abuse that they throw at you and save it. Put it onto an external hard drive or an external stick and keep it. Just don't be lazy. Screenshot everything. Get it on a hard drive or a stick and get it out of the way. All right? Just in case. Just say, McCream, who the fuck are you to tell Eric what to do, you fucking muppet, days gone by? I'm missing the conversation, I think, here. Richard Lee Butler made my day seeing Eric on here. I'm sure it will. It will galvanise people. There's so much paranoia and distrust through this whole thing because things come from many different avenues. And it's good, like Eric coming on and showing who he is and just having a chat, because it can help people to sort some of that stuff out. There's so many accusations and division being created in this whole thing. But again, look at the walk. Look at what people offer, how they represent the truth, and then how they support the truth and other people who are pushing the truth. That's what I'm looking for. And when I see that, that galvanises trust with me as well. So again, just keep looking at the walk. Don't listen to the hearsay. Go directly to the content. Go directly to the horse, right? And see what they're offering you. Propaganda has been used to a great effect with people for many years, and it's not going to change now. Those tactics are still very much the same. What you see going on in the political arenas and the mainstream media arena is exactly the same tactics that you're going to see in here. That's why I wasn't going to enter into it, all that fucking slandering and name calling and I put my hands up to it. There's been moments in time where the bubble has burst and I have said names, okay? I take responsibility for that. To say I'm not a guru, I'm not fucking perfect, I'm just as fallible as anybody else, right? Again, it's not about trying to present yourself as a fucking guru, all knowing, all wise, with an answer to every fucking thing, right? Negator X, these names of these known trolls again. They've just not got any fucking patience for any of these clowns. They don't understand that real science is about objectivity. It's only a discussion. It's not about personalities. It's not about ridiculing. It's not about name calling or any other emotional sway. Right? If they're entering into that, you know that they're a player. So I think Eric must be having trouble with the joining the hangout or the link. I'm not sure what's going on there. So we'll move on from that right now. Marshall, you were saying there was other links waiting?
Yeah, dude. I've fired one out now. Where am I? James, your link's gone out. Bear with me, Dale. I've got they're tearing the street up right beside my ear at the moment. So I've got that to contend with as well. Yeah, you wouldn't fucking believe it, would you?
I bet your nosiness must be getting, fighting with you to ditch the computer and go and have a look.
Well, yeah, I can hear them cutting it up. Fucking nuts, man. Not the best of timing, but at least I've got some bandwidth for a minute until they cut through the fucking cable.
People love that. That's the best type of fight, when you're in the safety of your own home, peering from the living room window. So, as I say, I think Eric's having a problem, but if you can hear this, Eric, thanks for coming on anyway, and hopefully we can do this again and have a wee bit more detailed discussions on some of the topics and subjects and goings on within this whole thing. I'm sure people would love to hear that. Thermal Luber, Dale, you should hook up with Odd. He has a nice way to spread the word and plant some seeds. He organises Respect for Flat Earth Chat and Takeover as well. Odd's another one who, has been here. He appeared on the scene after I was here and tried to, branch out and reach out to some of these people, but they were never interested. And again, they're representing with maps and models, the lack of push in order to, give people the tools of critical thought. These things for me are a real issue. There's too many people that I see like that are just interested in, garnering attention for themselves, appearing as some sort of personality and performer. And I'm very wary of these aspects that come from people, It's all very well and fine if you have a creative outlet, but at the same time, I expect this far along the line that you would be pushing more and encouraging people to be critical in themselves, not to be following you, not to be hanging on your every word and waiting for you like a guru. So, Rosalia Vadi, Dale, why don't you debate? Debate what? I'm not pushing any ideas or any subjective wishes and desires or wants. You don't debate objective truth. I don't know why that's so hard for people to get and why I'm still seeing it from people. If you're seeing people terming it as a debate, right, there's a false dichotomy being put to you here, that it's Globe against some other cartoon flat. Right? We're talking about objective reality, not an idea. So there is no debating it. All claims must be observable, measurable, testable and repeatable. If it is reality, you should be able to scale it and show it accurately with, the actual elements that you're claiming. Okay, so I say to you, pink unicorns are real. We could debate it if you like. The fact of the matter is I have no actual proof to show you. Okay, pink unicorns are not objectively true. If they were, we could observe them. We would know they existed. Then where is the debate? Right? It's like liquid is liquid, water is water. We don't debate its behaviour, the physical laws that it is constrained by. Okay, the debate comes when people start asking questions of how did it get here, right? And then you have, two opposing sides who want to debate about how it all came to be, right? You don't debate that if I drop a rock of 25 kilograms from 30 feet directly on top of your skull, that it is going to crush your skull, right? There is no fucking debate there. That's the difference. There's a difference between subjective and objective. The majority of subjective things are up for debate because it's down to subjective interpretation, right? Objective reality that doesn't require you or your wishes or desires is not up for debate. So please stop. That's why I don't debate. I'm not interested in debate. I can only have a discussion with somebody. But in that discussion, when it comes to this, if there's somebody coming making claims, they have to be able to provide practical examples, right? Or what are we discussing? Nothing. If you want to come in and talk about consciousness or something like that, we can have a debate and we can, question each other's stance or whatever and try and look for flaws and highlight the flaws or the contradictions. I hope that clears it up for you, Rosalia.
I'm firing out a link to Mike because it doesn't look like James has got himself together. So, Mike, your link's out.
Why hasn't Meryl got a spanner? Meryl wanted a spanner. I'll speak to Meryl in private. Thermal Luberg, should I let my friends go if they were very disrespectful after I went full flat earth on them? Well, again, we need to ditch the attitude of trying to convince people. If you set out with that stance of trying to convince people, you're going to bring about problems. People are going to read that from you and you're going to end up disappointed. and you may strain relationships with people. You have to discern each moment in time in regards to the conversation you're having with people. As again, I can't stress it enough. The best method for me if I want to make a point with anybody, and that could be a family member or a friend, is to be indirect. People do not like a fucking smart ass. People do not like to be told they are wrong and here is the truth. They don't like it, right? So you have to change your attitude. If your attitude is, you're comfortable and secure with what you know, and that should be what's important to you, that if you're desperate to get other people convinced, then you're insecure with yourself, right? Let them be them. If you want to affect them and try and bring awareness to that, be indirect, plant a seed. Right? Act daft. Act like you need help, like you're confused, and that maybe they can help you. Change the stance, change the attitude, and see if that works. I say people don't like to be told they're wrong and that here's the truth, but people like to think that they're helping somebody, right? Or if you're giving them the reins. I'm a bit confused about this, and I'm not too sure. I don't know if maybe you could help, but I've got these questions and this thing's been brought to me, and I'm looking at this aspect, and I just can't find my way around about it. I mean, I just don't know. Act like that. Act indirect, and as if you're on the fence and undecided, and watch people's attitudes change. Watch them jump to try and add or help, because that's in their nature as well, right? So you need to play on it. This is the aspects I'm talking about being manipulative and sneaky, right? But there's a difference, as I say. You're not being manipulative and sneaky in order to put people in ignorance or abuse them, right? I've used that in many aspects of my life. It doesn't matter what it is. Even in a job, in a trade, somebody having trouble with something, whatever it might be, a certain task, my approach should always be, well, what makes it easier for me, and what I have found to make it easier or to rectify the problem. I have found that this method was worked for me, and leave it at that, and then people will adopt it. They'll take it on board, as long as they're going, do this, do that, that's not how you do it, this is how you do it, and being authoritarian and dictator to them, Many of us have the rebel inside, right? You don't want to trigger the rebel in the wrong way, right? Right, I'm at the chat right now because I'm waiting on a guest coming, so if you've got something to say, I'm paying attention to the chat. I'm right at the bottom. Neo Omega, anybody else think the London attacks were a hoax? I've got some uploads on it, but I'm taking a major flack for it. They'll stay strong. We will win one day. Well, again, I don't even need to go into these aspects of hoaxes and terror attacks and all this kind of stuff. Switch your fucking TV off. Encourage other people to switch your fucking TV off. Encourage people to base things on their direct experience. And when they don't have a direct experience, they should not be assessing it to jump to any belief or assumption or conclusion. Okay? That is, again, going back to, I seen it again yesterday on Facebook. Flat Earthers are psyop to discredit 9/11 and blah, 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 blah. What utter fucking nonsense. These things have been going on for a prolonged amount of time. Absolutely fuck all has changed. Nothing has been brought to justice. Nobody's any wiser to exactly what went on. It doesn't change anything. The difference with this subject is that it is directly experienceable by everybody. They don't need a guru. They don't need the fucking TV, a YouTube video, a priest, a fucking scientist, anybody to tell them what's going on. They can experience it for themselves. And again, you have to articulate it to people that natural science is not about some trained physicist who has PhDs and letters after their name, blah, 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 blah. That may be true in an advanced subject, and, like a specific subject, right? Like if it's mechanics, then obviously there's people who have been involved in that specific subject for a long time. The difference with it is that it has practical application and practical proofs. Right? When it comes to objective reality in the world that you're living in, you are equipped the same as everybody else in order to assess what it is. Look, Caldwell, my little sister, now thinks there is a container around the globe holding the water. The only way that would work is if the water was filled right up to the edge of the fucking, the container. Or I even played with, what if it was a globe and there was a casing around it and the casing was pressurised in every direction in order to push. But, I tried that with myself back in the day, trying to convince myself that the globe might still have validity. But again, I found no practical example or anything to sway me towards thinking that was possible. Again, the water is the measuring tool. There is no more accurate measuring tool than the water. Don't let anybody tell you any different. They have fucking nothing to combat or match the accuracy of water.
I'm calling that no shows, dude. So I'm sending a link out to Rob. Rob, your link's out, man.
Okay, I'll keep reading the chat right now to make a smoke here. Oh, and here's the other thing, if anybody's listening that can maybe help me out here, right? I made an absolute arse of myself yesterday. I went on a wee tour with the kids, the family, run the coastal route. I took my GoPro with me because I was going to make some vlogs and show some observations. Now, I had read before that my GoPro was waterproof, and me being the fucking dunce of the moment at that time, I put the GoPro down to the water level and the waves were lapping against it. Now, it is waterproof with the right casing on it, but this case in the back was open for the cable to go into, and it has fucking ruined my GoPro camera. So I'm now stuck. I don't have a camera to do the street interviews. So if there's anybody who can maybe help out with a camera, or if you're willing to help to film and you have camera equipment, I would really appreciate that. And I'm not joking. I really need that kind of help right now. I'm not going to get into the monetary thing and start asking people for that kind of thing. If you have the equipment that you can either help me out with or come along on arranged days that we can do some filming, I would really appreciate it. But what a complete and utter tit. Fucking sticking my, I was looking across at Helensburgh into Fast Lane, and I'm going, right, look, the camera goes down and things are obscured while the waves are fucking lapping over the top of it. And after 5 minutes of talking into it, I turn the camera on and realise that it's not fucking working. So I don't know if it's going to dry out and then it will eventually work, but right now I'm stuck for street interviews or any activism that I can document because I don't have a fucking camera. John Smith, I'm here anytime you need filming. Cool. Well, as I said before, I'm into filming all the time. I'm up for progression and, as much as possible. So I've always been here and I'm waiting for any activity. So I appreciate it anytime. Dale, do you live in Rossneath? No, I live in Paisley. I was down at Greenock yesterday. As I say, I took the kids and stuff out to do a wee tour on the coastal route, and I took the camera in order to capture some stuff for the kids and the dog, and also to do some vlogs and observations. And like a complete and utter fucking moron. As I say, I read the instruction thing, and it said it's waterproof, but with the other case on it, the case that I had on it has a wee slot cut out at the back so that I can get my fucking USB port into it. So I don't know if it's going to dry out and work again, I'm not sure. I think that wee GoPro was a couple of £100, so I'll not be rushing out for a new one because I don't have that funding right now.
So we're getting suggestions in chat which I think are entirely credible. If you leave it in a bag with dry uncooked rice,
I read that.
You're not going to leach some moisture out of it. I'm a little bit.
The problem is, mate, as you said as well, and that I thought at the time, because it's salt water, I don't know if that's going to cause a problem because I know that the salt will probably attach to any circuitry that's on there.
Well, I mean, we've got one offer of a videographer for a minute, and I'm sure as soon as more people are aware, you get some other offers as well, dude. Yeah. We'll work on some equipment later on.
Well, John's offered as well, but I just thought John was, busy with his own endeavours, so that's good to know. Dale, you can get the eye camera at a quarter of the price and just as good. I'll need to check that out then.
I'll link you up after, Dale. I think I know what he's talking about. We got to get us higher, Rob.
How you doing, Rob? You're muted, Rob. You have to press the unmute on your mic there, man.
No, you still got no audio, Rob. Check your video, your Hangout settings on the cog, and make sure your mic is selected in the options box.
No, he's gone. He's gone.
Looks like he's resetting himself, dude. He'll probably be back in a second.
Okay, cool. Super Motardi, Run Cam, Swift, $100, Gear Best, Dell. I'll check it out. Unfortunately, the position I'm in, I just don't have any, I can't just throw out a spare £100 here or there for a camera. I'm really not in a position for that, unfortunately, but I'll do my best. There's people that are willing to help, maybe do some filming that relieves some of the pressure or the urgency for me to rush out and get a camera right now until I find a solution. So I say, who knows? I'm going to leave it and I'll try the rice again. I remember there was a wee guy on Dragon's Den a few years ago who had created a pouch with a solution in it that takes away, because apparently it's not the water that damages the electrical devices, it's the minerals within the water that attach themselves to the circuitry. And this solution bag apparently removes the minerals and stuff. So I'll look at a couple of the options. I'll let it dry for a few days and I'll try the rice and see if it works. Mac 5, what do Greenpeace say about all this? I have absolutely fucking no idea. Rock Vibrations, I've used that. It works still. I take it they're quite available then. Pick them up pretty much anywhere. Rock Vibrations, if you're talking about the solution bag type thing.
We got an offer here from Tom O'Lurberg, who says he's got a Sony Compact if you have a need for it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Excellent. Thank you very much for the offers. I'll keep all the offers in mind and I'll see what transpires. Obviously, I don't want to be relieving anybody of their equipment. It's just a stopgap right now for the position that I'm in. To see if, I've got people here willing to film and take part in some of the filming, that's going to help out anyway. But I really appreciate the offers and I'm going to keep that in mind. Oh, days go by, I have a camera I never used, Dale. Again, thank you very much. I'd spoke about this, that I was going to try and recreate the observations and how things disappear over level water by getting the camera right down to, halfway across the lens. And I know that it would have worked, but unfortunately the camera's now fucked. So I'd say to John the last time we were out, the idea of getting a glass container that you can submerge your camera in so that the glass container's taller obviously than the camera, then you can push that so that we can get the camera lens halfway, on the water line so we can see how things are obscured over level water. Lindsay Kay, thank you Dale for all you do. Thanks Lindsay, I really appreciate it. Again, I do all this because of my own selfish needs and wants, and my selfishness is to establish who I am, where the fuck I am, and why this is all the way it is, why we're here in the first place. So, thanks, Lindsay. John B set up a Patreon. No, I couldn't do that, John. I'm not in this to, make my life easier in a monetary sense. Money really means nothing to me. Obviously, we need it, and it would make life a hell of a lot easier, but I don't want to get involved and start going down those avenues. And we know how it's looked at from the outside, and as soon as you start a monetary type gain scenario, and too many people succumb to it, their priorities and their intent shifts from what they portrayed themselves to be to just trying to keep the money coming in. Not everybody. I'm sure people use it for its necessity and exactly what they said they were going to use it for. But I just don't want to go that road. And I know how everybody else suffers and is in need. And again, I didn't need any of that money before I started this. There's many more people in the world who would need it before I would need it. So if anybody has spare money, I would give it to those that really need it. Super Motarded, good, I'm not going to give you money. Red Machine, Kieran Dell, do you ever write and record music based on your flat earth research? Well, I have been recently, noting things down. That's another thing I'm going to go in the CAD for. If you're local to me and you have any kind of computing savvy, I have this thing that's called a Motu that I need to get set up through my PC so that I can get back recording and maybe use it while I'm live. But I don't have the capacity. I'm not technically minded at all in regards to PCs and stuff like that. So I need somebody who could be willing to set it up for me and then install the recording equipment and maybe give me a wee tip on how to use it. If you're local and you know any of that stuff, I would really appreciate it. Rock Vibrations, yep, I got it online there. It saved an iPhone that fell down the loo. Lol. They are not too costly. I'll try find the link to what I used it for. Thank you very much. That's excellent. But Rob, we have you back. Can we hear you? Still nothing, Rob.
Rob, at the top of this video screen you're looking at now, there should be a gear wheel. If you click the gear wheel, it'll bring a menu up giving you your settings. Then you set from there the microphone that you know the name of that you're using, or if you're not sure, it's probably labeled the same as your camera. So I mean, in most people's cases it'll be Logitech.
Andy Baldwick, how you doing, Andy? There's a lot of people complaining and saying the same thing. They don't get notifications. So I said the other night, a neighbour of mine had said that he was being denied access to view it. So
I'm also getting reports though of the Flat Earth activism channel being unavailable.
Right. Okay. That reminds me, people, the activism channels there for other people who are involved in activism. I suggest that you check the activism channel out. It's called Flat Earth Activism. There's a couple other channels that I wanted to give a wee shout out to today. I think that one was called BZAT, who's doing some great work on observations and tearing some things apart. I'll remember the other one before I go, hopefully. What make that guitar behind you? That's a Godin, a semi-acoustic thing. It's a great wee guitar that I can stick extra light strings on it, and it's just got a great feel to it and a great ring.
Will Fabian's asking what's phone number? We haven't got the phone active today, have we?
No.
Will, if you you know, if you want to chat, dude, I mean, the floor is open at the moment. You want to come in? Right. Okay.
When I get lazy, I dabble in FL Studio. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. If you're local and you have any kind of computer tech savvy knowledge that you could help me out with to install this Motu, set it up and show me how to use it a wee bit, I would really appreciate it. The only thing I can reward you with is cups of tea and some doobies. Something to eat. Plus, you get to meet an internet celebrity and sit in a famous shed.
That'd be world famous shed, though.
World famous shed, there you go.
Oh well, we'll say him for later. I'll mail you that. I'll mail you the number offline, dude. But I mean, you're welcome to come in now if you want.
Well, listen, I'm not going to get caught up with people coming in, or if they're not coming in. I really wasn't intending that today. But if anybody appears, then fair enough. So. I think I've mentioned, the journey, why I get involved, where I could see the problems and highlight the problems, and it's not changed. The same things are still here, they're still prominent. They rework it, they try again after a certain amount of time, and they bring new characters in. Sorry, Marshall, can you just hold the fort a wee minute just to nick to the toilet and grab a drink here?
Yeah, sure do.
Cheers.
And I'm totally ill-equipped for this at the moment because I've got too much going on here. Well, I think I suppose I'll fill it with just some rambling then of some kind. Yeah, okay, we'll save that for after. Oh, see, you're looking in a right position here. I've got the whole road dug up, banging in my ears. The whole fucking works today, man. Hi, John. Hi, Trev. Am I okay? Well, I don't know. Fair to middling, I think we'd say there, wouldn't we? Andy C. Tomo, I can't tell you, man. Hang in there, Marshall. You lot love this, don't you? Because you know I'm not equipped to be speaking on air. I'm sure Del does it on purpose. Sing us a song. No, you got no chance, man. Well, I'd rather have bagpipes than tumbleweeds, which is what you're stuck with at the moment, isn't it? Well, I should have. If you lot keep this up, I'll fire up the modular, then you'll all be sorry. A bit like Terry Wogan, yeah, minus the rug. Yeah, I can only apologise, Pete. I only anticipated admin duties today. Some experimental music, Magoon. Have you been on my channel? You probably won't visit it twice. Yeah, Aaron's man. Yeah. It's a shame that Eric's connection broke up because he seemed to be warming up to have something to say there, which is always the case, isn't it? But I think his connection is flaky from where he is. I'm in the southwest, rolling. Devon. Janner.
Right.
We've just tortured everybody for about 3 minutes there, Dom.
I just made a wee quick cup of tea, so...
Just stretch out the agony a little bit, yeah?
It wasn't that bad. Well, get used to it, because I'm hoping some people are going to take up the offer of presenting this on a Saturday, just to give other people the opportunity and, see how they are with this. Just to prove as well that I'm not just in this for me. I don't fire this up for attention for myself. I'll say whatever I think's relevant, and I've always done that. So if you want to have a go at presenting, don't be shy. Let me know and you can have a go. So, where was I? Tarmo, Lubert, Del, do you travel? Depends where you want me to travel to. I don't do planes. So if I'm travelling, it has to be by road. Trev Dawson viewing numbers are going up. Oh, are they? Yes, we're in the ratings war. So anyway, I'll get back to some of the things I was talking about. Ever since the beginning, this word shill has been getting thrown about. And, I was the first and this one was sent in to infiltrate me and blah, 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 blah. This doesn't belong to anybody. Nobody has the right of ownership to this at all. The objective world that we all share is exactly that. It's everybody's. There is no owner. There is no concept to own. You can own some flat model all you like, but you own nothing but a cartoon. We're supposed to be breaking free from the mind control, the mind constraints that have held us to this fucking nonsense for so long. But that comes down to the individual taking responsibility and realising where they have been contributing and allowing these things to happen. Right? Get rid of that type of psychology from your mind. Don't take anything from any, supposed authority or book or whatever. We need to let go of that. We should be embracing, each moment in time. And right now, the moment in time that we are in, we don't know where we are. We don't know who we are. We don't know fucking anything, right? We are desperately trying to cling to programs, cultural ideas, religious ideologies, many different forms and mind constraints that are coming your way. You have to break free from it. Sorry, I'm fucking distracted by that thing. Tarmo Luberg, thanks to this channel, I understand the Scottish accent and I know what I'm living on. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Tarmo. I don't know what I'm living on. I know what I'm not living on. The Scottish accent. You know, to me, I think right now I'm sounding so posh. If I was to just be lazy in my speech, you would probably not have a fucking clue what I was saying. It is a conscious effort to try and clean the speech up. RJ, how you doing? We came into this earth naked and screaming. We go out the same. No one ever really owns anything. Exactly, RJ. Well said. And again, if you're looking for clues in reality and how things work and what is kind of more true, pay attention to your children. Pay attention to them from their born and the process of going through being a baby into a toddler, and watch them and study them, and then recognising yourself when you left that type of naturalistic progression and started to be herded into a dead end mentality. Kids only live from one moment to the next. They're curious. They either want to destroy or create. They break things apart. They want to build things. They break them apart. That seems to be in us. But when we start being herded by ideologies, physical constraints, and that naturalistic process is not being allowed to flourish, we're going to get all sorts of crazy mental illness behaviour coming from that. Look at the same in animals. If animals are cooped up, if they're taken from their natural surroundings and placed into, like a zoo or a caged environment, they become depressed. Their behaviour starts becoming, unpredictable. They do things that they would never really do before if they were left to their own devices. And the same is true for us. What I see happening right now in the world are symptoms of that very thing, that people are being controlled. Things are not allowed to just have their natural progression, free flowing. And through that and through the fear, you have so many people then becoming insecure and scared and then trying to control each other even more, thereby adding to the mental illness. Red Machine, Kieran, I'd go on, but none of you would understand my North Irish accent. I'm sure I would understand, no problem, man. Don't begin me excuses.
So I've got a message from Murray. He's got a couple of experiences he wouldn't mind putting out on air, dude, if you're going to stay open for a bit.
Aye, cool. We'll get Marilyn, and then I'll probably wrap up no long after that, because as I say, I just wanted to say a couple of things in regards to what's going on. I've probably moved away from what I set out to say today, but this always happens with a live thing. You get distracted. And again, I'm kind of finding it difficult to keep focus in the last few weeks. I'm sure I'll pinpoint exactly what's going on with that as well. So, but just to keep it simple, remember the subject. The subject is objective. It's a question for natural science. If you're employing logic, reasoning, and you understand how these things work, the game players and the infiltration, the psyops should become ever more apparent to you, to the point where you can't see anything but it. It should be so clear and obvious to you. Meryl, how are you doing?
Good one, man.
You all right?
Yeah.
You're becoming
It's funny.
Sorry, mate. There you go.
I want to hear what you got to say.
Oh, so you're becoming a prominent figure here. Are you trying to infiltrate me and fucking oust me? Hey, Meryl, is that your game? I can see your games, man.
He's eyeing up his chair already, dude. How you doing, Mark?
Yeah, good, Marshall. It's a ratings war.
Yeah.
It was funny that just when something is going to get said, sometimes the internet glitches out, just when everything's getting rolling and
yeah. Well, that's a repetitive pattern that we see happening so often. Spot on, man. Does that frustration you sometimes feel?
Do you feel like it's important about like when you feel you're on a roll, or that like there's a momentum and an energy and you start to feel like, I'm in the zone here and things are moving. You don't, just like you were saying just then, like you don't want to feel boxed in, because we're already feeling what I've heard it said, like all people want a lot of the time is just a bit of elbow room, just a bit of room to breathe, just to be themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a lot to ask, but I'm across the pond, but I feel, sometimes I feel a bit guilty because I'm in Australia, and a lot of people call that the lucky country, and like.
Let's see your weather. That's probably about it, mate.
Yeah.
No, the frustration, you know, things happen in waves, and I knew that when I started the street interview stuff, people were needing something like that. They had to see progression, and it's, you feel that and you ride that wave for so long, but eventually it's like, right now we're just kicking the ass out of that wave. You know, there has to be something else. You know, I get disheartened sometimes when I'm in the street, because although it's useful to people and people maybe like seeing it, to me in my mind I'm thinking, right, I want to be speaking to physicists and I want to be able to have this discussion and you know, and I'm not getting it, and it's just not getting there quick enough for me, so I get frustrated in that aspect. But in the bigger picture, the frustration with me has been there my whole life. It's like, why the fuck, you know, do we not have good people in these positions of leadership? Why the fuck are we not being, you know, pushed towards a better world, a better way of life? Why do we keep being apathetic towards these fucking assholes and these fucking idiots who are running the show? You know, it's just tiresome. You know, I get frustrated in many aspects. I walk out into my scheme and I see money being spent building box houses for fucking middle class want to be fucking toffs to move into, and I see funding going to these types of things, but there's fuck all for the children. There's no creative outlet. You know, all we get is a shitty swing park with a fucking shooting a roundabout, and you know, and that's about it. And it's the apathy of people that are just accepting of that, you know. And I get frustrated with by a many number of things, you know, not just this. But
yeah. If you bottle all that stuff, it can, you know, I know you know that, but I've kept a lid on a lot of things, and it's good to let it out sometimes. You know, there's a time and a place for everything, isn't there?
Yep.
Yeah. I caught up with some friends, mostly some girls I've lost contact with, and it's funny because one of the girls, she's very out for herself, and I'm not knocking her, but she is. Even she could admit that. But at about 2 a.m. last night, we're all sat around a table. She was making some food, and people were asking, they were asking what I'd been up to, the subject. And surprisingly, they were all ears, put it across. And I was happy that I could feel that there was a reception in the room to the subject,
yep,
and an open-mindedness. And one girl in particular that I don't know very well, at the end, she said, "You still haven't convinced me." And I said, just, it came out of nowhere, I said, "Well, that's not really my job anyway." And I just looked at her like real level, and I said, "But some things you have to earn anyway." And then she's like, oh, what do you mean? And it was just funny the way that came out. And then her whole attitude changed. Then it was like, "Oh, what do you mean? And what have I got to earn?" And then she wanted to know more.
Yeah. So that's a healthy form of manipulation there, Meryl.
Yeah, well, it wasn't intentional. It just sort of came off the cuff. And then I went to a supermarket tonight, and there were 5 people, strangers, standing in a car park. Yeah, who cares? You know, one life, you only live once. And I went up to them and I said, "Oh, do you guys like science?" And they all just looked at me and they said, "Oh, what have you got?" And I said, "Oh, well, there's something blowing." I didn't mention it. I just thought I won't mention it. I won't mention the word flat earth. I'll just say, I just thought on my feet, and my intuition said, there's something blowing up on the internet right now. And I said, the feeling is that we're not on a globe. What do you guys think about that? And they all sort of, again, there was that open, I had their attention.
Yeah.
And then mentioned a couple of things. And one of the guys was a bit of a smart ass, and he said, "Oh, I'll just call NASA now and get in contact with the space station." And I just said, kind of met him cheeky and just said, "Yeah, well, it's not even there. Like, it's fake. You know that, right?" And again, I was just really calm, cheeky, and something came out. Again, it was spontaneous, but what I said was, what we have to get really good at is knowing who's legit, because the world's full of liars.
Yep.
And if we don't, because this concerns all of us, like if we don't get good at knowing who's telling us the truth or wherever it's coming from, street cred, all that sort of stuff,
yep,
you know, who do you trust, who do you listen to? I was just saying, we got to get sharp on this one, because who knows what's going to come down the tube if they did do an alien invasion or any of that shit. And it was, remember Orson Welles' War of the Worlds? Do you know that story?
Yeah.
And he did the live broadcast, and people didn't know that it wasn't real.
Yeah. It just depends if it's coming through the media. Again, it's how it's presented to people. That's another aspect that I've always tried to say to people. These people who are, coming on the news or any of these things, that they are trained in how to deliver a story. They're not there to deliver you the objective truth or their investigations. It's not any real journalism anymore. It's people who are given a script and they're trained on how to deliver a story. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's recognising that forms of NLP and another subject that people really need to understand. NLP and how it works.
Because, I'm not an expert on, there's even an English show, I can't think of the name of it, but they have comedians and they all make up a story and you got to figure out if they're lying or not. I can't think of the name of it for some reason. But I just like that idea that the skill is being able to spot a lie and know the difference and why you're buying into a story and what's the thing that hooks you in.
Yeah, the skill is always getting to the root, getting to, whatever truth might be or whatever lie might be, and that's something I've formulated through my life. There's pretty much nothing in a social aspect, a relationship aspect, that I couldn't identify the root of the problems in, and again, it just comes down about mastering yourself, going into yourself, not being scared to admit who you are, things that you have succumbed to, any manipulative aspects you may have in you, and as soon as you do that, you break free from it, and then you have the ability to recognise it everywhere else around about you.
Yeah. Marshall, the other night, I didn't realise how much fear I've had under the surface, and just talking to him a little bit really walked me through something there, and I could really see how I was being quite governed by my own fear about just what's going on in this world and who's really in charge of this place. And because I don't really know, my imagination kicks in, and so what I've realised is my imagination is the thing that scares me more than anything else.
Yeah, your imagination's been influenced by your culture and some of the programming that's went on through the years as well, that can play a huge role. Yeah, and sorry.
Oh no, you go.
Well, that's the difference. Sometimes people, their imagination kicks in and they don't have the ability to recognise when, it is the imagination that's ruling the show and fueling the thoughts that they're having. You have to have the ability to, overrule that and kick in the logic and the reasoning and analyse it.
Yeah.
And people sometimes think because they can imagine scenarios or things, and because they can imagine it vividly, that somehow lends, weight to it being true. And a lot of people's confusion and fear comes from that as well.
You said saying that I hadn't even jumped off into all the possibilities, like even Light Reader the other night talking about us being in like a Taurus field and all those kind of things can totally come around for different ideas if they make sense.
Yeah.
But you said to me, it's profound. Just this level plane, stationary plane. You just said it's profound. And that just stopped me. No one had said that I'd heard anyway. And I just thought, this thing of coming home to your core, almost like reality and life, it's just gone like real quick, and it's just constant bombarded and barrage of data and information, and your brain can't take it in.
Yeah.
Said profound, it almost felt like things just slowed down a little bit. And I reckon even the thing of the globe, that's in your brain, it's spinning your brain into a confusion. But our real true reality is what it is, and because it's a level, profound plane that's not moving, that's what for any of us who've realized this, let's anchor. This is a chance to ground ourselves, because all those people who haven't realized it, they're in this fantasy spin out fucking trip.
Yeah.
I would not go back
to
the fantasy for fucking quids.
No, it's a world of bewilderment, fucking confusion, man. And I've said that so many times. You take the foundations away for people and you replace it with a false foundation. And that foundation, as you say, is a fucking spinning, nature-defying fucking sphere pair aimlessly flying through the vacuum of space. Now, if you have that at your core and you're then trying to rationalise and make sense of the world from that foundation, you're fucked from the off. You're never going to find an avenue that is rooted anywhere in truth until you remove that foundation. But it takes a lot of work to really realise it, to really know it, and then to understand how profound it actually is. It's easy for people just to say it, But knowing it is a total different fucking matter altogether, you know?
And feeling it too. Like, I sat in a park and somehow I've never really thought, like, sitting in a park and was like, oh yeah, I'm spinning, and I just didn't have thoughts like that. You know, you're more in the moment and having a look around or eating something, whatever you're doing. But there's this awareness now that it's calmed me down. Like, I'm a bit jittery about certain things and being on camera and shit like, but it's all static. It's not important. Stuff I'm moving through too. But I've just got this, I can't explain it. It's like so strong. And I'm so proud of like you and everybody involved in this. Like, it just fucking eggs me on so much.
Good.
It does.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what we need, man. We need to egg each other on, support each other, not strip each other away, you know, and start causing problems because somebody can't keep control of their ego or you know, all these usual boring old fucking same old social dynamics that just are empty and bore the fucking tits right off of me, you know. It just makes my heart sink when you get so far along the road thinking there's people like that and then you see them turn, you know. But it's great, you know, people like yourself who see that and appreciate it. And you're right, we need to anchor in that and keep pushing, you know. Helping each other is a wonderful experience, and it makes you feel good being selfless and out there for the team, you know, trying to help each other, you know. And what we're looking for, we're not looking for world domination and to take control of the system. And no, we know how profound it is. We know how meaningful and how important it is for us to have proper grounding. You know, what are we really looking for? Just the truth, the simple truths that I, for one, feel as if we should have always had. It shouldn't be about bewilderment and confusion. We should know exactly what the game is.
That's what I said to the crew tonight in the car park. I said, we're good people and we deserve better. And they all looked at me, and even when I drove off, you know, like when you don't give a shit about someone, you just turn your back, you're like, yeah, whatever. But they all watched me drive away. Yeah. And you see they were talking about it and thinking about it. And I just left like a ghost, like the Phantom.
Yeah, because when you're secure and you're confident in what you're saying and you're being indirect, non-offensive, non-intrusive, it's so much more powerful, you know, because
I didn't get anyone's email, no one's phone number. I didn't even send them a link. I just thought, I just want the experience of being pure in the moment, letting them know it's important, fucking hone in and know that the world is full of fucking deception. And you know that anyway, but...
Yeah. And I think it was a smart move. I use it as well. I never ever use the term flat earth. Sometimes people will say to me, oh, is this the flat earth thing? And I'll say to them, well, it depends on what you mean by flat earth. So you let them bring those words into the conversation so that you're not bringing it in, and let them bring it in and then put them right on what, you know, depends what you mean by flat earth. If you mean, you know, a fucking pizza dish or, you know, something on the back of a fucking turtle, then no, that's not what I'm talking about, you know. And then put them right on it.
And moving out of old, or you said the other day outside the BBC, like that people might think you're a loony sitting there with the alien, but you've got thick skin that doesn't bother you. And I took good juice from that for my heart and my brain, because it was like, yeah, you've got to have a sense of humor somehow too in this journey.
Yeah.
Because there is a funny side to it, like the reactions you get from, and some of the deflections I've seen in the little time I've been sharing it with people, is how some people are so invested in not coming out of hypnosis.
Yeah.
And that's none of my business, but it's fascinating.
Yeah.
They want some people just want to stay in the fantasy world. They really do.
It's not even that they want to stay in the fantasy world, it's just easier for them. The patterns they know the patterns, it's secure, it's comfortable, they have got used to it. As I say, that's why, you know, it's important to try and package it in a way where you're offering something that's exciting, that's enthralling to them, you know, to try and help them to break out of those patterns, to want to reach for something different, you know. But again, the whole thing to me, I mean, the whole life, the whole complexity, that it is funny to me. You know, I come on with this stern seriousness because the subject is serious. You know, I mean, I'm not going to make any bones about that, but I still have the ability, and anybody who knows me, I can laugh about anything. You know, I really don't take anything that seriously at all. You know, and this whole thing to me is fucking hysterical. I mean, look at the scale of it. You understand how profound it is, and then you understand that there's these groups of people who are actively trying to perpetuate it. And I, for one, think it's fucking hysterical. You know, now when I look at these like NASA and these fucking bozos hanging upside down, straining with their shit acting, you know, before I would be pissed, you could be pissed off with that, but now I just think it's absolutely fucking hysterical because it shows them for how pathetic they actually are, you know.
I said to my mum tonight too, it must be a strain. I mean, look at what happened to Neil Armstrong. That bloke ended up a recluse, an alcoholic.
Yeah.
You know, like you could see it took it, that lie and selling out took its fucking toll on him.
Yeah.
He was the first guy to walk on the moon.
Yeah, no one knows.
You know, like, yeah, I mean, he had to hold that inside. I mean, it must have been fucking hard. I'm a compassionate person for, like, you know, there's a lot of cunts in this world.
But we can't project, you know, who we are onto these people, because sociopath, narcissist type people, you know, they will portray themselves to be just like me and you, you know, and they're really good at putting that front up until they're actually cornered, and then you will see the true nature of them.
Yeah.
So I even had suspicions that they ever felt any remorse or guilt about it whatsoever. And if they did, and they had some empathy and compassion, it makes you wonder then, maybe there's a bigger reason for this whole deception that we're just not quite getting right now. We still have to keep open-minded to the possibility that it's for a good in some way or other. Well, I think it has to be good for us, you know, regardless, because we've learned now, look, don't take things on hearsay, you know, base things on direct realism. Don't listen to these types of, you know, mentality. I think it's going to sharpen us up. Whether that's for a greater good or for something in the future, I don't know. Again, you know, we really don't know what's went on and the reasons behind all these things that have transpired and happened, you know. So it's very easy for us just to look at them and say, fucking liars, they're the enemy, they're the... when we don't really know what's went on and why things have went the way they are, you know.
Yeah. I'm just glad that I know it's not about whoever started it. Like, you know, who was on the show earlier. How humble is that guy? ED.
Yeah.
And
Again,
thinking about writing a children's book, like the fact that he's thinking about kids and thinking about kids who are going to grow up in a world potentially not as confused as fucking we were. That's noble. You know, he could make a porno, I'm sure, with fucking robot dicks and who knows, like some fucking weird shit. But why not, with your creativity, do something useful?
Yeah.
Like Bringer of the Storm. Did you write that? Is that you on guitar?
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Cheers.
So yeah, no, for sure. I don't know. I won't hang on because I know you got maybe come back to why you jumped on. I like what did you have? The clowns to the left, jokers to the right.
Yeah.
You know, bring it in, Del. Like I need you to know. So many people. I haven't been in this game long, but I can already tell people are like behind you, man. Like if you needed a camera, if you needed a place to stay, like if I had that opportunity to help you out, like I would. Don't be embarrassed. You are strong soul and you do inspire people, and I know that must weigh on your shoulders sometimes, but it's Knights of the Round Table, Del. Like that's how I see things sometimes. Like you're a brave knight and you're standing up for yourself and for humanity, and it might be selfish sometimes.
Yeah.
Your strength pulls it out of other people as well.
Yeah. It's reciprocity, mate. You know, I get that exact same from people like yourself and everybody else who comes through, you know. And I'm the same. I'm selfless. If I can help anybody, if there's anybody out there that needs my help in any way, shape or form, and I have anything that I can offer anybody, don't hesitate to ask for it. You know, that's just who I am, you know. And I appreciate that there's people like yourself who are the same, mate. I do really appreciate it, so thanks for that.
You're welcome. Yeah. Anytime. I'll jump out, but I don't know how busy you are this week, but if we could catch up on FB or whatever,
yeah,
before Saturday, or not for long, 5 or 10 minutes, just want to bounce it. Yeah.
That as well. I mean, people don't need to think they're wasting my time or I don't have time for them. I have plenty of time for people. It's just, you if I've got family things and things I need to, attend to, then I'm going to have to prioritise with that. But of course, Meryl, I mean, tomorrow morning, I don't know what time it's going to be for you, but I'll be here, man, and we can chat on the Facebook then. All right, mate?
No worries.
Nice one, but
Good on you.
cheers for coming on again, mate.
You're welcome. I'm like a pest. I'm like a pest.
No, you're not. Don't have that attitude, man. That's exactly it. That's the imagination eating away at you again. Previous experience.
Too hard on myself. I think we all are.
Yeah, definitely, mate. But thanks, Meryl.
Anytime, Dal. It's for life, brother. I'm with you.
Nice one, mate. I'll speak to you in the morning, man. Cheers. He's gone. So there we go. I'm feeling a wee bit flat today for the last couple of weeks, and just having some decent people run about me and some decent conversations, I now feel energised and focused again. So to everybody who contributes to that, I really appreciate you. I can only thank you for it. Again, it was good to see Eric coming on, and again, as Meryl was pointing out, you only have to look at the walk and what people are actually offering. What measures and what steps they take. Do they show their intent? Look for the intent. The intent will be there in the walk that they walk, right? And that's how you can separate the wheat from the chaff. Okay, so I'm going to go. I'll come to the chat. I'm going to make a fag, and I'm going to say hello in the chat. See if there's any questions, any topics that you want me to talk about. Any questions, whatever. Let me know right now, and I'll deal with them while I'm here. Stuart McKenzie, thanks, Stuart. And again, I appreciate people's words, and sometimes I react to words like chin up. I'm no down. I'm no depressed or anything like that. I'm still strong. My intent is still there. It's no wavered. I just get frustrated and impatient, and that's really about it. As I say, I'm just as fallible as everybody else. I'm not perfect. So any questions, anything you want to say, any topics you want me to bring up, speak about, let me know. Cheers, Kieran. I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. Ryan, can you please carry on what you're doing, please? Yeah, I'm going to carry on what I'm doing. Nice t-shirt. Come on, let's get a wee bit more nitty gritty. We don't want this a fucking circle jerk and nice t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. Trackmatic, good point. How much is it for a spread in newspapers? At what point does suppression supersede money hooring? Well, that's it. It's a good test to see if they are all tied up with the same powers, or whether there is any independent rogues out there who will just bite at any offer of money. I said that before. I spoke to the guy in the newspaper shop, and he had no problem with me just insert some wee flyers into the newspapers that are already there. I mean, you can get 5,000 printed for about 20 quid. I've acquired a printer recently, so it's really going to cost me nothing to print out a few hundred sheets whenever I feel like it, go into some local newspaper places and insert some information into the newspapers. That's a good point, Trackmatic. Michael McDermott, hi there, all the best from me and Joanne. How you doing, Michael? If that's who you think it is, thank you very much, and I hope you are well. Levi Foster, Logdale, we already asked it all. We got nothing left to ask, just seed planting left. Exactly, man. And again, I'm just here trying to be a voice of reason, and I'm going to continue to do that. And the platform's here for everybody to use. That's where I'm going to maintain it as. So people just need to keep using it. As I say, it's not about me garnering attention and sitting here like fucking Parkinson, like I want viewing figures and everybody to listen to me and getting off on my bit of attention. This is for everybody. John Dixon, how you doing? All the Metro paper on buses, most people read them. Exactly. You could just go in, pick up the Metro, insert your piece of information, walk away. And that Metro is going to be passed, run that bus or the train, whatever it is, for that full day. So another good point there, John. Gary Kilbride, did any of you see the spread about flat on mainstream 4 days ago? Seen it here in Oz. I'll post a link to it, see what you think. Nice one, Gary. How fake do you know the media is? Well, I know the media is fake because it's not objective, the media. It's fucking propaganda. They don't report on what's important. They don't try and empower people. They don't try and free people from the shackles of their own mind. They offer us fuck all but perpetuating the mental illness. That's all I see from the mainstream media. And tying us to, what's important in life, how relationships should be, how you should react, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, all that fucking nonsense. Oh, shit. John Charles Nahindi, Dale, you're a real-life hero. I'm not a hero, man. I'm just a fucking man. I know, and I can only offer what I can offer, and I can only be honest in what I have to offer. That's it. I appreciate that, but I'm not anybody's hero at all. Sorry if I'm missing your comments, but every time I touch this chat thing, it just jumps. Michael McDermott, Dale, just a quick one. If it's true about gravity and it holds oceans to the side of a globe, why can fish and ocean life float about this freely? Well, that's exactly it, Michael. There's so many contradictions in it. Again, you just get down to the nitty-gritty of it. Practical example, the gravity actually has to be tangible. We have to actually know it precisely. And again, even with gravity and what they're claiming, why things fall to the earth, it doesn't produce measurable curvature. It doesn't produce a globe. So they always use this. Why do things fall towards the earth then? Why do they not fall up the way? All this fucking nonsense, Again, it's just part of the sophism. It's part of the confusion. The same as, that's just how things behave in a vacuum. Therefore, who lives in a fucking vacuum? Why is a vacuum even relevant to what we're talking about? It's not relevant. We don't experience a vacuum in our life, apart from your asshole. And again, that just proves that it shooks things up. Yang Liang, Dale been away for a while. Did anything ever happen with those scientists that visited the pubs in the UK to chat with the common folk? No. It was circle jerks and propaganda. Gav had went to a couple of them, and it was pretty much just space lovers, Star Wars fucking geeks, all sitting there scratching each other's confirmation bias and saying things like this in a presented voice and with mystery and fucking propaganda sway. That is pretty much it. It's no real science. Real science is meant to be objective. It's meant to be open to discussion and question. But these things seems to be, Star Wars fanatics with the costumes and the fucking lightsabers. No offence if you're into that, but as soon as you start claiming that that's science, then I've got a fucking issue with that. So no, nothing came of it, and it was pretty pointless even to go and try and have a discussion there, because they're only there, as I say, to push their agenda. That's it, Sage Simpson Roberts. We're all superheroes. Anybody who's standing up to this nonsense and trying to change it, in my book, is a hero. We are combined hero, and we all want to get, that's the selfish part of me. We'll talk about, I say I'm selfless, but really I'm selfish when it comes to this, because my whole motivation behind me getting involved with this is because I'm determined and, really, really want to know the truth about who I am, where we are, why it's here. So my selfishness lies there. I've always said that. In order for me to achieve my goals, I need more people awake to it. We need numbers up, because that's going to increase my chances of getting there. So that's where my selfishness is, if you can call it selfishness. George Kutan, flat earth is not a cause, flat earth is mental illness. I think you find it's the exact opposite, George. People like myself were cult members of the globe. I considered myself a globe disciple, and I managed to break free from that once I went to investigate it. Flat earth, and many people think flat earth is whatever it is in their mind. Flat earth here simply means an ongoing investigation. It means that the globe is utter fucking bollocks, and that it's an ongoing investigation in order to establish the full dimensions. I can claim that it is a level plane we live upon with high points and low points. The reason I can claim that is because the place is covered in liquid water. We know beyond any shadow of a doubt physical properties, the physical behaviours of liquid upon Earth, and it tells us that it is impossible for us to be living on the exterior of any shape. Bodies of water do not display convexity or any other shape upon their surface. Okay, so you can take your mental illness quotes and ram them. Vortex Puppy, how you doing, Gav? I am an ex-Globe cult member. 1, wake up the common man. 2, get academia to table for discussion. 3, prosecute the evidence. Exactly. That is the exact format that I've had in my mind from the very beginning, Gav. So that is well put. Mr. Aubrey, I think 150 of you could get your hand off your wang while staring at Dale and thumb this up. Aye, good idea. When he's here, 300, get the fucking like button hit. Again, that was tactics that I said about the beginning. You could see that the trolls and their organised trolling, they would like each other's comments, they would support each other to give the impression to the new viewer that they are right just by the likes. So you really need to support each other in that aspect. We know that YouTube and these other media outlets are fudging the numbers and the figures, so we need to do our best to combat it. Ryan at Sea Level Academia are avoiding it at all costs, buddy. they can keep trying to avoid it, but that's why for me it's important to take it to them respectfully, to keep pressurising them, to let them know that we're there. That's why we go to the universities. That's why I'll go and I'll stand outside the BBC building, because I'm determined to, have somebody, I can only trust me, so I want me representing this and taking it to them so that I can't be associated by any other crazy behaviour or any other groups who are out there claiming they're for truth. We meet them head on with respect, put it to them as a discussion and keep pressurising them, and let them know that we're not going to go away until they start dealing with it. And that's my intention. That should be everybody else's intention. Again, with respect, with courtesy, with compassion, with understanding. No mob herd mentality and bombarding people when it's not wanted. Right? We have avenues that we can achieve it on. We need to use them. Activist News, hi Dale. I'd love to come on chat one time, and unfortunately for me there is a baby asleep in the next room. It's 2 a.m. here. Hope to catch you during the day one time. No bother, Activist News, you're more than welcome. I'm usually on a Saturday night at 7:30 our time here, so I'm not sure what time it's going to be there for you. I think that's still going to be, early morning maybe for you. But if it runs on for a few years, then, I think that would be time for you to get up and ready to come on. So you're more than welcome. Just send us a mail to nocurve@gmx.com and we'll sort that out. I look forward to it. Well, it looks as if some people had trouble with the link today, so I can only apologise to those people. Again, I don't know if it's part of the fuckery that's going on. As I say, with people reporting they don't get notifications, they can't access to watch. So, we can only put it down to some fuckery.
I'm going to do another request from chat for a link, dude, but what I will say is I was under the impression we were wrapping up, and I've suggested to a couple of people that I've already mailed through that maybe Saturday's a better idea, because I thought we were going to close out in a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to close it. I've seen a comment there about this, people, speaking to each other and socialising with each other. I don't think that's a bad thing. Socialising is not a bad thing in people communicating with each other. But when it's nonsensical shit that's going to bring unwanted attention to this, then I have a problem with that. But constructive conversations and chat is good for people. It's healthy. It's how we figure things out. So anyway, people, I'm going to call it a day at that. Thanks to everybody coming on. Really, really appreciate it. Hope to see you there again on Saturday, and hopefully, Eric, if you hear this, you get the comms sorted out. It'd be really great to extend that conversation we're getting into there. So keep at them, people. Keep your wits about you, and don't let any of these fucking players away with it. Stop being apathetic towards them. I'm going to keep calling it as I see it, and keep pushing forward. So, and again, if anybody who's willing to help out with filming, John, I know you're there, but you've got a job to keep as well, and you can't be there all the time. So if there's any other people there, I really appreciate it. And again, one of my priorities right now, just for my own creative outlet, is getting this Motu thing installed and getting myself back up and recording again so that I can plug in and play. So if you can help me out with that, I'd really, really appreciate it. You can send me a message here, or you can contact me on Facebook. And on Facebook, it's ABKO Derek, so it's ABCHAO Derek. Send me a friend request, or if we already are friends there, then if you could inbox me, if you can help me out with installing this, that'd be great. So, peace, people. Take care. Take it easy. Marshall, Magumba, Jonah Worms, if you're there. Everybody in the chat, thank you. Cheers, Marshall.